As hard as this might be for some to believe, come this September, the critically acclaimed Grand Theft Auto V will turn 10 years old. This is a game that was at the cutting edge of the video game industry for years after its release, and although time has taken a toll on it like it does on most things, few titles have been able to captivate the gaming audience like it managed to do. Even in 2023, few titles come close to the level of polish and innovation displayed by GTA V, with perhaps Rockstar's Red Dead Redemption 2 being one of the only ones to surpass it. And mind you, even that came out almost 5 years ago now. So with the release of the next game in the series looming just over the horizon somewhere, a question is simmering in our minds. Is Grand Theft Auto 6 going to be as big a leap in innovation as we all hope it will be? So first off, a bit of a trip down memory lane is in order. Grand Theft Auto franchise has always been a pioneer within the open world genre of video games. The first two entries in the series, which came out all the way back in the late 90s, were top-down experiences that were praised for the level of freedom they offered to players in approaching different objectives, even if the graphical side of things were a bit lacking. They weren't groundbreaking by any means, but they were nonetheless extremely enjoyable games that instantly garnered a fanbase. Then when GTA 3 came out in 2001, it took the industry by storm. This was the series' first foray into a true 3D world, and with that came a level of detail and freedom that had not ever been seen before. It looked, played, and sounded better than anything that had come before it. And this was the game that truly put the Grand Theft Auto name on the map, and there was nowhere to go from here but up. The next two games in the series, Grand Theft Auto Vice City and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, were incredible titles within their own right, and they refined the formula established by their predecessor even further. Some could even argue that these experiences are remembered much more fondly than GTA 3, and for good reason as well. But from a technical standpoint, they didn't really push the envelope per se. All three of these games were built by Rockstar using the RenderWare engine, and you can clearly see that they share the same DNA, and by extension, the same limitations and flaws. No, the real leap in innovation came with the release of Grand Theft Auto 4 in 2008, which is still considered one of the greatest video games of all time. Made with the proprietary Rockstar Advanced Game Engine, or RAGE for short, this title was the next logical evolution of the GTA formula. It featured stunning visuals with a city that was absolutely teeming with life, a much more satirical, yet at the same time darker narrative, significantly improved driving and shooting systems, and most notably, the cover mechanic. The game simply felt more refined than anything that we had seen from the franchise before, and the aforementioned improvements to the gameplay simply made it a more fair experience. And when we say fair, we mean that in the literal sense. The game was simply more balanced, and the often unreasonable difficulty spikes that were the norm in a lot of older video games weren't present here. So now, if you died in the middle of a mission, more often than not, it was because you, as a player, had failed to properly utilize all the tools at your disposal, and not because you couldn't shield yourself behind a dumpster as dozens of enemies pelted you with bullets in an exposed parking lot. And yes, we're speaking from experience here. And all of these features would be further refined with the next game in the series, and the industry would change once again.
Never has there been an opening like this in the entertainment industry. This week, Grand Theft Auto V pulled in $1 billion in sales in 3 days.
In 2013, the release of Grand Theft Auto V was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and the sheer hype that it had going for it is unlike anything we have ever seen from a video game. It promised a seamless open world that could be explored by a car, boat, or plane, a level of verticality not seen in the series so far, better shooting, better driving, better acting, better animations, and everything. The list of improvements just goes on and on. And it delivered on almost all of those promises, with the one most notable exception being the actual story, which many felt was a step down in quality compared to the captivating tale of Niko Bellic in the last game. Instead, we now had the first game in the series to feature 3 different protagonists, each with their own unique skills and backstories. Michael, Franklin, and Trevor are the stars of GTA 5, and one of the key marketing points of the game centered around how you could instantly switch to any of them at any point with just the press of a button. The game will simply zoom out of your currently selected character and zoom back into another part of the world where another protagonist could be in the middle of any number of bizarre activities. It was a very neat little mechanic. GTA 5 also introduced us to heists, which were extremely complex, multi-part missions that could take hours to prepare for. While building up to them, the game had you pick your method of approach, recruit crew members, secure weapons and equipment, getaway vehicles, all for the sake of some absolutely bombastic final encounters that were the highlights of the entire 40+ hour experience. The game was also incredibly revolutionary in terms of the online multiplayer, which featured one of the first truly open worlds. You could create your own unique character and load into an instance of the map alongside dozens of other players and basically roam around the map and undertake different missions and activities as you pleased. And over the years, the Grand Theft Auto Online experience has only grown in size and scope, with massive expansions that have introduced new story content, weapons and vehicles, alongside so many other features like player clubs, business, and even online exclusive heists. The multiplayer right now is so radically different from what it was at launch that it can hardly be considered the same game. And yes, like you'd expect, microtransactions are also a thing that exists within the Spade game. Most of the new content being released for GTA Online is so expensive that it's simply more economical to buy money for in-game use than to actually earn it doing activities. So yeah, take that for what it's worth. Still a pretty solid multiplayer experience otherwise, but we could all do without the microtransactions. So now let's go back to the question we asked at the start of this video. Is Grand Theft Auto 6 going to be as big a leap in innovation as we all hope it will be? Will it radically evolve the series just like how GTA 3, 4, and 5 did before it? Short answer is maybe. Rockstar doesn't really cut corners with their games, at least when it specifically comes to their major AAA releases, and I don't see them missing a beat with their biggest upcoming project either. And according to all the reports we've heard over the years, the game will take place in a completely reworked Vice City, which is a setting that fans have been begging to revisit for years. In addition to that, sections of it will also take place in South America, and while a specific country has not been revealed so far, rumors also say that it will be Cuba. On top of that, it will once again feature more than one protagonist, a man and a woman who will have a Bonnie and Clyde-esque dynamic. According to the journalist Tom Henderson, the map would also evolve over time, and this particular bit of news was also reaffirmed by Jason Schreier of Bloomberg, who has a history of accurately reporting leaks within the industry. And while a lot of this information so far is hearsay, many details about the game were in fact confirmed with the massive Rockstar leak that took place in September of last year, when around 90 videos showing over 50 minutes of gameplay were posted on the community-run GTA forums. These videos, among other things, confirmed that the game would in fact take place in a modern-day Vice City and feature male and female protagonists that are reportedly named Jason and Lucia. The leaks also showcase various animations and gameplay tests, all of which painted a picture of a game that is far from complete and did not look all that impressive visually. If we were to judge the product via the leaks alone, the answer to our question could be no, that GTA 6 does not seem like it's going to be as big a leap as we thought it would be. But we can all agree that context matters. Many of the leaked videos were of very early builds of the game, including some that were marked clearly as being from 2021. And if you're vaguely familiar with game dev, then you know that a title can radically change within the span of a year. Many times, a game does not come together into a coherent product, sometimes as late as the last few months of development. Plus, none of these leaks showcased other key aspects of the game, like how Rockstar is developing and has patented a tech for managing NPC navigation. Because according to a patent application filed in 2019 titled System and Method for Virtual Navigation in a Gaming Environment, the game will feature an extensive system to manage NPC behavior, resulting in a more realistic, dynamic, and immersive traffic simulation unlike anything we've seen from the series before. And we're willing to bet that where there is one unique system like this, there are others we haven't even heard of. So to judge the game in its current state is to judge a cake before it's even out of the oven. So what's the conclusion we've come to? Well, like all games, there's a very real chance that Grand Theft Auto 6 will not live up to expectation. But if Rockstar's reputation is anything to go by, the more likely outcome is that the company will not take the risk to release a mediocre title. They will polish the game until it's the best possible product they can deliver. And there's a reason the saying goes that the next generation doesn't start until Rockstar says so. And that is because they have a reputation for being the best in the business. So maintain a healthy amount of speculation, but know that chances are that Grand Theft Auto 6 will deliver where it counts. That's about it for the video. If there's anything we missed in the speculations, let us know, and if you enjoy this type of content, feel free to subscribe for a lot more of it.